Hello everyone, I'm Plasmoid, as many like to call me, that guy with the afro. Was really hoping I wouldn't have to do this video. You know, sometimes I just have to go out and say things that I don't really want to. And in this case, this is the most painful thing for me to say that I have in my queue for now. I don't want to say it, but it very much looks like Hentai Con as we know it is dead. Again. And, you know, you think I usually get emotional about death of a con. No, I don't. Absolutely not. I mean, if Anime Matsuri falls off the face of the earth, thank you very much, but you're not going to see me riding and cheering in the streets. But this one is a bit personal to me. I can do a history of Hentai Con, and it would be one of those videos that would take less than 15 minutes, unlike that 40-minute history of Anime Matsuri. Please do not make me do that again, people. But in general terms, I'm gonna have to say it how it is. I'm not making this official because I'm not a part of the group, but HentaiCon is dead, as I said before. And how can I show you, or at least tell you why it's dead? Well, it happens to be the part of the subsidiary they're part of. If you've gone back and traced a little bit of the history of conventions, there was this convention called Anime California. There were two iterations of it. Ironically, there were two iterations of HentaiCon, but I will get to that later. The first one completely backfired and failed epically. The second one came out and did some things over the last few years and designed a completely different convention from the ground up. They made a new kind of situation, a new build, a new place, I guess. They just changed everything, but with the same name. I don't know if that was a good idea, considering how the old Anime California was a complete train wreck, but you see the point. Why is this related to HentaiCon? Well, they also, in this group of people, run HentaiCon as well. When you really connect the dots, however, HentaiCon's biggest thing was that it was going to be this big new convention last year and it was going to have 18 and up stuff. And then they canceled it because the hotel, for some reason, didn't have the data stream or whatever. I don't know. It's something with the hotel and I don't really understand it. However, we go back to Anime California, and I look at it, and I'm looking through the details of what I can. The website has not been updated for this year, and last year was, according to their website, an August 23rd through 25th, almost Labor Day weekend. Very, very tough to really pull off that kind of time frame, by the way, if you're trying to compete with Dragon Con. Hint, hint. I already talked about that, and I'll talk about it again probably more later. But in general terms, this convention runs HentaiCon, and this convention has not updated a single thing in the last maybe, I don't know, since August. And why is that a big deal? Because when you get to your next year of conventioning, you probably have to have your plan in place somewhere between 6 to 8 months in advance. You have to have about a general idea of when the time's going to be. You're going to have to get the hotel figured out. You're going to have to get your guests in line. You're going to have to start programming these things within that time frame in order to get people interested and or the logistics in place for people to get going. Delta H gone. If you don't have a set date for the next year around that time, it's going to be extremely hard for people to get involved in a reasonable amount of anything. And since Anime California doesn't have a date set for this year, remember it's about August or so, late August, here we are late February, it looks like, it's not going to be running for this year. Okay, so the website doesn't update. So what, Plasma Warrior? That can be any con. Well, yeah, but then I actually take a look at the social media stuff. I take a look at the Facebook, Twitter, all that good old stuff. And there's nothing. I literally look at it, and there's 0 posts since last time HentaiCon was canceled, about late October. And Anime California is actually worse. Their last posts were literally a week after the convention. Now, you don't have to year-round post like some cons. I mean, Anime Detour does this, I grant you that. But when your social media is completely silent for about maybe a good course of 3 or 4 months, you know there's problems. Delta H Con. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to say it how it is. I don't think there'll be a Hentai Con this year. So why does this sadden me? Why am I personally invested in this moment, as well as Anime California? Well, for those of you who have gone back in the history of my channel and the history of what I've done, you will remember there is a original concept for Hentai Con that was going to be in Las Vegas. It was going to probably, if realistically not, around Christmas time, the holiday season of last year. That group, I was going to run the gaming side of things, and I actually have a good plan in place for what I would do with gaming. Here's a little bit of a hint. There's 5 pillars to it: arcade, console, tabletop, LARPing, and generally PC stuff. If you run your system like that, you'll have to put in a lot of logistics in place and all that stuff. I can get it another day, but I'll just make it very simple. I had an idea of what games to put in there, and also build PCs in order to run hentai stuff on it. However, that never came to being, and well, I was hoping, honestly, I have no beef with this group of people who Anime California runs with. I have no problem if they want me involved or not. I have no issue with them. I was hoping maybe this would work, and it doesn't seem like it's going to. This is not an official announcement because I'm not involved with this Hentai Con, but it's a bit of a reminder, I think, that people think conventions are just popping up left and right, and they're automatically going to be there. You know how hard it is to run a convention? Then you know very much that these things don't work just automatically. I think one of the biggest problems a lot of people have is they assume cons are just automatically going to happen tomorrow morning. And you're not guaranteed that. I mean, talk about Houston, how there are only really 2 conventions that have gone on before 2005. One is OwlCon, the other is OniCon. OwlCon remains small because it's a college-driven convention. OniCon is trying to get away from the Houston area's evilness, if you would, John Lay, and try to get the further away from Houston you are, and yet you're still within an area where Houstonians can reach, the better. Galveston is perfectly fine for OniCon. I'm just going to say it how it is. It's probably the best bet they've made so far. That's kept them above water, to say. They're not in the red because they moved to Galveston, and they're not trying to get involved with other convention in Houston, and end up losing out. Generally speaking. When it comes to Hentai Con, I really don't know what to tell you. After 2 attempts, one of them not even putting on a show, I gotta be honest with you. I think it's time to say, probably this won't work. It sucks for me to say it. It sucks for me to say Hentai Con isn't going to be useful, and it's time to change up philosophy. Now, this isn't the end for adult conventions. You think I'm overly saying this is death and, well, sorry, it's all over. Well, honestly, not by much. Because there's actually a convention in Atlanta called FoleyCon that's going on in April. I can't make that one. I've already made other commitments. I've been thinking about it. I've been looking into it. I might volunteer for that one day. But right now, Dragon Con has my attention. I want to go somewhere in the west part of the United States when I get a chance. That's going to be my next goal. Hopefully E3, maybe not next year, but the year after. I've been wanting to do that. Like I said in other videos, I've been wanting to do other things than Dragon Con. So there is always something out there. And right now, FoleyCon is it. I highly recommend you check it out. And I think, honestly, that might be your best bet to get going. Now, let me say it like this. If there is a HentaiCon, a history of HentaiCon, I'm willing to actually sit down and do that. However, I have a problem. You see, after doing the history of Anime Matsuri, I really don't want to put my time into it entirely. I have to think about what to do with it. Now, I have had a thought, but I'm not sure it would be feasible because, one, the size of this people is massive, what I'm going through, and two, I really don't know if they will be able to do a collaboration about this. But I've been thinking, if I were to do a history of HentaiCon, I would in some way, shape, or form get Project Melody involved. I could write the script. I could give first-hand accounts. I was on staff on Prop Point 1.0, that HentaiCon, but I think really it would make more sense if it came from somebody who would be more willing to have that kind of voice of the convention. Now, I'm not saying I've worked with Project Melody. I'm not saying I know who they are. And even if I did know who Project Melody was, I wasn't going to tell anybody because, reasons. Again, the anonymity might be a problem, but I'm not going to just blur it out just because I know. Maybe, just maybe, it would be a good idea for them to have it. I can do the research. I can do that information. They can easily say this came from this person, and I can easily give them the basic outline. They can have that all pretty much done any which way they wanted to if they so desire. But I really do not want to go through another history of convention. So hopefully we'll have something better. But man, this sucks. I really was hoping this would succeed. And if you want more information about HentaiCon, I can give it to you from what I know. But until then, this might be a little bit of a different thought process from all the Project Melody people who signed on in the last few days. But yeah, I do a lot of conventions. And I have an Astros rant coming up. So don't worry, it's happening, folks. But until then, like, share, and subscribe. And also donate to my PayPal at plasmoria2002@gmail.com. I will have another Project Melody video coming up probably Monday because reasons. But until then, later.